What is the power of an idea? Where human imagination, timing, and technology come together. Where opportunity is answered by invention, and everyday life is transformed. Tonight, we gather to celebrate the people and companies of Idaho who have altered the arc of history and changed the course of the future. Engineers, architects, designers, entrepreneurs, astronauts, leaders who have reimagined what's possible, reinvented what's new through the power of ideas. This is the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame, presented by HP, featuring the Idaho Innovation Awards, sponsored by Stoll Reeves. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Carolyn Holly.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? I could hear you when I got up here. Thank you for the welcome this evening. This is one of my favorite evenings in Boise, Idaho, because there's some really smart people in this room. I mean, truly, if you take a look around, and I may just have you do that in a minute, incredible brains are inside the Boise Center right now. I want to say thank you for having me for the 5th year that I've been able to MC for you. Thank you. Yeah. It's always a privilege when I get that call because, gosh, every year I have learned more and more about the innovation in our state. It's incredible what we do as Idahoans. Don't tell anybody though, right? Yeah, go ahead, shout it from the mountaintops. This is a big show for you tonight because this is the 10th anniversary of the Idaho Technology Council's Hall of Fame. 10 years it's been going on. That is incredible in itself. But when I think back and think about how we kind of started in a broom closet out there, look how much we've grown at this time. So I want to thank all of you for being here. I hope you're going to just really enjoy your evening. As I mentioned, there is some real brain power that is in the audience tonight. But it's all about you. You are the ones that make something happen. Tonight, we are going to honor Idaho's best innovators of manufacturing, science, agriculture, and business. We are here to not only honor their accomplishments, but your accomplishments as well. In fact, it's really dark out there. I cannot see all of you, and I know I have a lot of friends out there because it's been a joy to have. Thank you. Bring the house lights up a little bit. Can you see each other a little bit better then? Or do you want the house lights to come down? I told you there is such brain power in here. It's just oozing out of all of you. But I want to say hello to so many people that I didn't have a chance to see before the show started. So thank you for bringing the lights up. I think it's kind of nice to have it a little bit lighter in here. We are here to honor your accomplishments. As I mentioned, we are going to honor your innovation, and we are going to honor you. After all, it is really about ideas, right? Isn't that how every great innovation starts? With an idea. Every bit of technology we use every day started with just that, an idea. So tonight, we are going to explore the power of ideas through the awards and recognition of some of Idaho's most imaginative and innovative people and their companies as well. Here's what we're going to do, because we do have an amazing night in store for you. We've got the Idaho Innovation Awards tonight. That's going to recognize the most innovative companies, peoples, people and products of 2019 in the Gem State. We've got Brad Smith. Brad, are you here? Executive Chairman and former CEO of Intuit. Hi, Brad. He'll be up on the stage a little bit later. We are also inducting 2 new members into the Idaho Technology Council's Hall of Fame. Wonderful companies who have inspired so many people in Idaho and are quite the innovators. The Idaho Innovation Awards are tonight. This will recognize 5 of Idaho's most groundbreaking accomplishments in the last year. In the House with us tonight, we have some wonderful dignitaries that I would like to point out. One of the newest university presidents here in the great Gem State. Let's welcome President Marlene Tromp from BSU. Thank you, President Tromp. And Brad, I have you on the script again. So Brad Smith, will you stand up, please? Former CEO of Intuit. Thank you. Also, I would like the Idaho Technology Council's Board of Trustees to stand and be recognized for what you do all year long. Please stand up. And in the room with us tonight, we have some prestigious Hall of Fame members. Steve Myers, if you're here, please stand up. Steve Hodges and John Kemper, all of them are members of the Idaho Technology Hall of Fame. I want to take a moment to mention our sponsors because this great evening could not happen for you without them. They are listed on the back of your program. But I'd like to thank right now HP, Micron, Stoll Reeves, Idaho Central Credit Union, the Garrigan Lyman Group, the Gardner Company, Idaho National Lab, Albertsons, Deloitte, Truckstop.com, Zeller Kern Wealth Advisors, Idaho Digital Learning, and St. Luke's. A round of applause for all of our sponsors tonight. Like I said, we really have a great show ahead. I think that you're going to walk away from here amazed at the power of ideas that happen right here in Idaho. Please enjoy your dinner right now, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carolyn Holly back to the stage.
Council, I haven't even said his name yet, and he's already ready to get on the stage, because you know Jay Larson. He loves it up here.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I can't believe you're not dressed like an astronaut this time,
Yeah.
or how many different ways you've come in here to the stage. You've been great.
Yes, thank you. We were thinking about a Halloween deal this year, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, we'll save them.
Yeah.
We'll save them that. Jay, I want to talk about this. 10 years. 10-year anniversary. What's that mean for you?
It's phenomenal. And, a lot of you have been here for the last 10 years. I was talking to people over the HP table. It is amazing what's happened in the last 10 years to help us grow innovation and technology. So I'd like to everybody give yourself a hand, because it's all because it's a group effort here. Thank you.
And what I love about it, 10 years, and this guy hasn't aged at all.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I'm setting you up right there.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Pick it up, here we go. Anyway, this is about power of ideas.
Yes.
Tonight. And my goodness, what you've said, in the last 10 years, the ideas that have become innovation and really helping us really go where Idaho has never gone before.
Yeah. It's amazing, because the power of ideas kind of is in each one of us. It helps us start new companies. It helps us be better with our families. Helps us be better in schools. It helps us so that it helps our whole community and the state of Idaho and the world's better. So power of ideas is one of the most fundamental things that we have in our lives. So.
Well, I'm going to let you take it away from here.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Let's hear it for Carolyn Holly. All right. So first, I have to get this out of the way, because I said Halloween is on, so I'm going to have my grandkids, I'm going to see them, and I'm going to tell them this joke. So I'm going to see who can tell me the answer first. Why are ghosts such bad liars? Because you can see right through them? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. The other thing I want you to know, about 3 years ago, T-Sheets was always handing out. In fact, I'm surprised if Matt comes up here if he doesn't throw about 50 T-shirts out, right, Matt? Because always you went places. Well, I got something from Matt, and it was a thank you for things that are going on. They sent it to me with a little card, and if I've got the mic or anybody on me, I wanted to show these. These are my T-sheet socks. If anybody see that? Yeah. Okay. And those are white legs. I'm not hiding those. All right. So thank you very much. Now, let me give you a quick story of what's going on here. What's happening is we're here on our 10-year anniversary here, and a lot of things have taken place. About 10 years ago, we had the opportunity to have our first meeting with Governor Otter. Brad was in this meeting, and as was Matt Rissell. And in that meeting, the governor was sitting there going, okay, he just returned from a trip from China, and he said, economic development is about, it's only if you can mine it, extract it, or grow it. So it's an all natural resources. So in this one, Rich was in the meeting, he goes, Governor, what happens when you talk about HP, Cradlepoint, T-Sheets, Clearwater Analytics, Truckstop.com, Count? What are those? And so the governor looked again at Rich and he said, tell me what I need to know. And he said, Governor, what we're going to tell you is it's our role to be able to help you understand, as the voice from industry, what the Idaho Technology Council has, so we can help grow a knowledge-based economy. But more importantly, you need to talk about growing a knowledge-based economy and realize that a natural resource and knowledge-based economy, it works. So from that time forward, the governor was very receptive to the messages that we had and had several meetings with us, and it was very, very helpful for us to be able to establish the voice from industry to move this. One of the things that I wanted to show you is that we have a start, everything is about start, grow, and thrive. That's what we are here to be able to help companies that are going to be extraordinary for Idaho and to be able to help them with big ideas. And part of this is you can look at what I would say proof points. I got a call 6 months ago when livability came out, and the call I got was from North Carolina. And this is the person who runs the North Carolina Technology Council. What he said to me was, he goes, Jay, you guys were the fastest 3 years ago. You got the fastest growing growing software industry as a percent of the state's GDP in the nation. So we were number one. We had a $72 million GDP. And he goes, livability just said that Raleigh, North Carolina was the second best, most livable city in the United States. And he said, you know what the number one was? And I said to him, I don't know. He goes, Boise, Idaho. So he was always saying that Boise had these type of things. And on that, those livability, we had 10 other cities within the state of Idaho that were on the top 100. So let's hear it for that. That's a great thing. So I want you to look at all of these. The truth about the proof is that we have been recognized from many different places, from U.S. World and News Report, from Forbes, all of these places, from Vogue. They're all saying, this is a fantastic place to come visit. It's one of the fastest growing communities in the United States, and it's one of the most innovative. And it's one of those things where you just can't hide. I mean, we don't hide. It's one of the biggest things that we have that we talk about, and it's because the power of ideas is so strong here. Now, let's talk a little bit about two things that we provide. We provide two reports. One is the Idaho Knowledge Report, which talks about the things we're doing throughout the state, the 6 economic regions, and throughout Idaho to be able to grow an innovative economy, because it always has to happen in the last mile. So that's what that talks about. The second report is the Idaho Deal Flow Report, which talks about where money comes and how it comes into our state. And so both of those really indicate how strong our economy is. So it's all about talent, access to capital, and getting technology in the marketplace. And that's all about disruption. So part of this is, as we look at this quickly, is we look at all the quality of life is really big measured in there. Access to talent is also measured, as well as the infrastructure. We are going to look at how much travel times change in our market right here versus Idaho Falls is more concerned about how they might get flights back to be able to fly over here on airplanes and so some of those things. And the last part of this is around innovation. So let me just show a couple things that happen on this part. So I'll have this. This is the profile where we look at how healthy the people are, like simple things like diabetes, how that hits everything we do. It will also talk about the security and safety of our communities. Like Boise, I think I heard the figure 17% safer than the year before, so that's a big indicator on things that take place. We also talk about how good governance and those type of things, so the state and local governments really have the right policies, so that measures a lot of things on that. Let me show you this one. This is really telling because part of it is you say, okay, what kind of jobs do we want to attract and how they pay? In our region right here in Boise, we average about $113,000 annual salary for technology jobs. If it's a non-technology job, it's about $53,000. Excuse me, if it's all jobs, it's 53. If you take technology out of all the other jobs, it's more like $37,000. So you can see that if you really want to grow an area, you have to focus on innovation and technology. Let me give you one other point here that's really important. In Silicon Valley, the average cost of somebody that's a good software developer around that is right around $260,000. So if you think about that delta and the cost of living and everything that takes place, we can do some exceptional things out of the Boise area for technology and growing that. Now let me show you a couple other areas. This pie chart shows you the black is 19% of that. That's where software companies and finance companies grow in our area. The other one, the blue one, is where like 12% of that is around advanced manufacturing for the state. But the part that's really coming in here that we really need to know is that we are growing computer science, software companies and technology companies. And the key that we have from the Idaho Technology Council is in the year 2025, we want technology industry to be the most highest industry in the state of Idaho. And it's probably about 16% today, on its way to be 25 in 2025 if we all work together to grow it. All right, just to run through a couple things here. This just shows you on part of the deal about mean times, travel times. They're going up a little bit, and it's really important. About 24 minutes a day is what we average. If I ask Brad how much do you average to get into work down in Silicon Valley, probably the average time is probably about an hour and a half or something there close, right? And so this is where these quality of life and what we have. So we have to continue to look and focus on things that are going to change and drive the quality of life because it's the number one thing we have. This is about data speeds. It's the rural-urban divide that takes place. And this is another major issue for us because the data speeds are much slower in rural Idaho versus urban Idaho. And so we have to look at that. And I know the Governor Little has some major initiatives around this too that he's working on. And we're going to be able to work closely with him on that. Now, the answer is, and this is Clayton Christensen said, the answer is around disruptive innovation. And really the key on this one is that you're meeting and anticipating your customers' needs today, but more importantly, into the future. So the key is that if you don't do that, then you're going to find you as a company being disrupted by somebody who is. This is a critical point for us, is that innovative disruption has to run the way that we run companies and the way that Idaho thinks about the power of ideas. Let me show you just a couple of companies that are in this, because what I'm trying to tie here is you're tying capital in with those companies that are doing extraordinary things. Take a look at this. So we have on this several different companies. T-Sheets was a company that has married access to capital with meeting customer demand extraordinarily. And all these companies, Count, where are you? You guys are over here too, right? Count has done the same thing. Very, very good and exceptional company. You also look at the way that Clearwater Analytics, which is now on the 5G precipice of making something big, we're going to have the biggest explosion from wireless and 5G that will take place over the next 5 to 10 years that we've ever experienced in any industry. It will be magnificent, and Cradle Point is at that edge. Let me just show you just a couple really quick, and then we're going to be done here. 160. These are all of the companies. We had 163 deals, and these are, in the last 6 years, venture funds that have been contributing to Idaho's economy and putting money into Idaho's economy. Out of these deals, we had 1.4 billion that we were able to track. We really think there was, because we couldn't, and not everybody had to report the money they got. So we think there was probably closer to 2.4 to $3 billion invested in 2018 in Idaho companies. We also want you to know that deal flow has continued to be strong. This was the second largest one that we were able to capture last year, so that was really solid on that. But I'm going to end in one area. The area we're going to talk about, and I know Rod Grammer and everything with Idaho Education Association, everything is so, and Carolyn, I know you're a big part of this. What this is saying is that our biggest opportunity is to be able to look for ways to be able to grow computing talent and software talent in the state of Idaho. So where this is I want to just use Boise State as an example. Boise State Computer Science Department, what's happened is they went from having 9 faculty members and 20 graduates approximately to 26 faculty members and having 115 graduates, on its way to 200 if we continue to scale it. So let's hear it for that. And President Trump, Marlene, this is a big, big opportunity for us. You do this, and then all of a sudden, we really propel ourselves as one of the tech hubs in the United States and in the world. Now, the other part of this is University of Idaho has received a lot of money from JFAC too, as well as to do this, as has Idaho State with cybersecurity, and NNU has done some fantastic things in this space. So let's hear it for all those that are creating talent in our state. Thank you very much, Janet, for all of the stuff that the University of Idaho does. Now, the next part of this is really one of the biggest part. And I want to say this last part. The only way that we were able to do this is that, and Matt Ristel helped us start the Software Alliance in Idaho. So Matt, that was awesome. We've changed a little pivot on it. We call it the Computing Alliance, and that's being run by Jet Hansen with Intuit. Thanks, Jet. And then Corey Vaughn from Delta Dental. I know you're here too, Corey, so thanks you both for that and the work that you're putting in to be able to make this a difference on it. Now, as far as the last point, we have been recognized by Code.org, and the person, he spoke at this probably about 5 years ago, and it was Hadi Pertovi. And Hadi came in here, and he came in and he challenged the governor to start doing an hour of code. And he made all these challenges across our ability to be able to make changes in the state of Idaho. Idaho is recognized because we've accomplished 13 points, just simple points of getting computer science in our K-12 system. And what we're going to do is even more. We are working with 2 areas, Sharon Reberry from Middleton School District and Reed Steffen, who's the CIO over at the St. Luke system, are our chairs of the Idaho Computing K through career team. And they're the ones that are helping us put in. Our big objective that we need all your help with is that within a next year to 2 years, we want to make it so computer science is going to be offered at every school, and that all of our students that graduate from Idaho high schools have taken these fundamental classes, and they'll have it in their tool belt to be able to make them even more accessible and more engaged in the changes in technology in the future. So, and I know that as we have like State Board, Andy Scoggin, this is going to be important for us as we're going to work closely to make this happen. Lastly, thank you guys so much for all you do. There's no question in my mind that the only way we've been able to make Idaho a more engaging knowledge place is because of the connections and the networks that we've built, because of the successes of companies like we've referenced earlier. And the power of ideas is life. I want you to watch this next video. And in this video, you're going to see the power of ideas, how real they are with our high school and elementary students that are in the Middleton School District. Watch this.
My idea is to invent like a water detector, kind of like a metal detector, but to help create wells for people who don't have fresh water just on hand.
I think I would create some sort of device that could take moisture from the air and turn it into drinking water.
My idea for an invention is an exoskeleton that uses messages from the brain to help paralyzed people walk and talk.
I would create like a device that keeps you from like saying something that's going to get you in trouble.
I would like to invent a drone that would pick up trash in the park.
I would like to invent shoes that can take you anywhere. You would put in the longitude and latitude into them, and you would change your atoms and travel through frequencies to get there faster.
If I were to invent something that could help the world, I would make some sort of robot that could stop fires. That way we could get there faster and save more lives.
I wish that we could invent a lawnmower that for paralyzed people could use.
I would invent a machine that every time someone walks past the machine, it will put a smile on their face. Because it will make the place a better place, make the world a better place.
All starts with an idea. All of it starts with an idea, and our youth as well, and their dreams. Jay, thank you for painting a great picture of where we're at with technology and where we see ourselves going as well. It's time for our Indeed Awards. These are awesome awards because tonight we are going to honor some educators who are doing it right. They are really making sure that our children are gaining the skills not only for the jobs of today, but the jobs of tomorrow. And so I'd like to bring up on stage our presenter, who is Ian Harris. He's the president and CEO of Vinyl. Vinyl is a Boise-based software company that delivers digital solutions to leading companies and institutions in healthcare, finance, insurance, and other industries. So we're pleased to have Vinyl tonight as our industry representative. Welcome, Ian.
Thanks, everybody. Before I get to the prepared remarks, I will say that as a father of four and as a husband of an educator, this particular subject is one that's very near and dear to my heart. Digital literacy is crucial to the economy today. This is compared to only 9.8% for other occupations, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures. To prepare our students not just for the jobs of the future, but for the jobs many of us struggle to fill today in our companies, it's important for us in the business community to raise our hands and to be allies to the educators who support and inspire the future scientists, technicians, engineers, and innovators of Idaho. We at Vinyl, along with our colleagues from organizations across Idaho, are strong believers in the mission of the Idaho STEM Action Center. We're proud to support its programs. In the last year alone, the STEM Action Center facilitated more than 475,000 interactions with students, families, and educators in communities all across the great state of Idaho. It's a big number. Tonight, we celebrate outstanding educators who are dedicated to this cause. In partnership with the Idaho STEM Action Center, representatives from the STEM industry selected 2 teachers whose efforts stand out for their impact and innovation as recipients of the industry's Excellent Educators Dedicated to STEM Award, or the Indeeds Award. This prestigious award is given to Idaho educators who exemplify the talent, dedication, and passion for giving their students the best STEM learning opportunities by connecting their learning environment with industry to ensure Idaho's long-term economic success. So let's begin with the kindergarten through 6th grade category, where we recognize Lynette Leonard from Southside Elementary School in Coquilala, Idaho. So let me tell you a little bit about Lynette. Lynette Leonard is always on the lookout for new trends in STEM education. In addition to serving as the librarian at Southside Elementary in rural Coquilala, she's taken instruction to the next level by offering robotics, coding, and 3D printing programs at the school. Additionally, Lynette offers after-school and summer programs, pulling in local government and industry experts to guide and mentor students throughout their projects. Through these partnerships, Lynette has integrated STEM education with sports and recreation, built a progressive computer science curriculum for the school, and coached award-winning student competition teams in robotics and 3D printing. In addition to her 15 years of education experience, Lynette has been active in various community organizations, taking leadership roles within the Boy Scouts, outdoor programs, and stepping up to connect her peers with STEM resources. Lynette believes every child should have the same access to STEM skills, no matter their geographical location, socioeconomic status, or ethnicity. This has been a motivating factor for her to bring STEM resources to the students of the small rural school of Southside Elementary. Lynette is a mother of 3 wonderful sons who inspire her to help every child achieve their full potential. She lives and works for children, and their educations and successes are her rewards. Lynette is the first librarian to receive an Indeeds Award. So please welcome Lynette Leonard. And ecological restoration. She started teaching in 2014, and she immediately began transforming science education at her school. She created a concurrent credit course in biology that has allowed over 100 high school students to receive college credit for their work. Because of her passion, drive, and capability to carry out amazing work, Robin was selected as the official science department coordinator of the Emmett School District within only 3 years. Robin maintains memberships in several STEM professional organizations, like the Idaho Bird Observatory and the Idaho Rural Water Association, where she connects scientists and practitioners with student projects. She also facilitates the biology club at her school and served as a mentor to a student research project that won top honors at the Idaho Science and Engineering Fair, going on to compete in an international competition. Robin Wilson believes so strongly in supporting women in STEM that she created and funds a scholarship for graduating female seniors of Emmett High School who plan to pursue higher education in core science fields. Several of her that's right. I have 4 daughters, so this is also very close to my heart. Several of her graduated students return to Emmett to assist with student projects, school activities, and competitions. So please welcome Robin Wilson. So as part of this recognition, each of these educators will receive a $2,000 personal award, $2,000 toward attendance at a national STEM conference to build their professional knowledge, and their schools will also get $2,000 to put toward STEM initiatives. Ensuring that STEM education is a priority in our communities would not be possible, of course, without the support of organizations, well, like Vinyl, but of course of a lot of other companies, including the Idaho National Laboratory, the Micron Foundation, Idaho Power, the Discovery Center of Idaho, Trailhead, and Idaho Technology Council, of course, who is our wonderful host here today. It is our responsibility to take an active role in supporting entities like the Idaho STEM Action Center and our schools. We need mentors, we need partners, and sponsors across a variety of STEM careers to help build the next generation of our workforce. To find out how you can get involved in the efforts to build better STEM education in your region, please visit the Idaho STEM Action Center at stem.idaho.gov. And of course, thank you for showing up tonight. And please join me in congratulating our 2019 Indeeds Award winners one more time and continuing to support STEM education all across Idaho.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first Hall of Famer.
Ooh. I didn't quite hear what that was, but I was thinking I wanted to hear more of what they're doing. Because you can see right through it, the ghost, right? That's good. Part of our show right here, because we are going to recognize our first inductee into the Hall of Fame tonight. And it has something to do with this extremely delicate and special item in my hand right here. As you can all see, this is a light bulb. But it's not just any old light bulb. This is an actual bulb used at the Idaho National Laboratory for an experiment in 1963. It was in 1951 that INL achieved one of the most significant scientific accomplishments of the last century. They took the power of an idea to not only power a light bulb, but also to change the world's energy future.
Few companies in the world understand the power of an idea better than Idaho National Laboratory.
Reactor power now stabilized at 100%.
1:23 p.m. Load dissipators from generator connected. Electricity flows from atomic energy.
Now celebrating its 70th anniversary, Idaho's National Lab has built its legacy on ideas that have literally energized a world.
Within the smooth cylinder of her hull is housed the most amazing machinery in the world, an atomic reactor capable of generating propulsive power.
Today, INL is one of Idaho's largest employers. Equally as impressive is the lab's importance to the nation's future as it pioneers new solutions in energy, security, science, and the environment. But throughout the remarkable history of INL, one truth has proven itself time and time again. The power of ideas has always been about the power of people. People who think of a problem as an opportunity, a challenge as a chance to learn, a question as always having an answer with the right idea. With an eye to the next decade and to the next century, INL is helping to power the world through the power of ideas. Congratulations to Idaho National Laboratory, 70 years young, and the latest member of the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame.
That was awesome. We're so honored to be able to induct the Idaho National Laboratory into the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame. The Idaho National Laboratory has lived the power of ideas through its engineers and its employees for the past 70 years. It's been phenomenal the way they've changed the landscape of energy, materials, security, you name it. That is just one of the amazing places in this state where ideas have flowed. Accepting for the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame, accepting for the INL is Juan Alvarez, Deputy Laboratory Director and Chief Operating Officer. Let's welcome Juan to the stage.
Celebrated its 70th year just this year. Great moment for us. We have an incredible history that started essentially the movement of developing nuclear energy for civilian applications and military applications. We're very proud of the work that we have done. But looking backwards, only gets us so far, and we really kind of focus in the future. We have a very exciting future, I think, for our state and for the work we do as a national laboratory. It starts, we talked about the power of ideas and how do we improve education. It starts with just recently, on October 14th, we had the opportunity to do a ribbon cutting for 2 brand new buildings that were built to us by the state of Idaho. that's going to allow us to train our students in ways that we've never done before, to be able to work in cybersecurity, work with high-performance computing in abilities that we have just never tested before. This is going to provide us a platform to develop that future workforce that we need to support our technological growth. I want to thank former Governor Otter, Governor Little, the state legislature, our university partners, all of them, including the colleges, the State Board of Education, the State Building Authority, and the legislature. It took all of them to put a deal together that will make this a reality and a possibility for us. So when you look forward at the Idaho National Lab, just this year, we're basically almost starting like the beginning all over again. In 1949, that patch of desert was designated by the government to be the National Reactor Testing Station. And that became the catalyst for the demonstrations and development of all kinds of new reactor technologies. In fact, in our history, we have built and tested 52 different reactors. Most people in the state of Idaho don't even know that. 52 different reactors. The entire fleet, the nuclear fleet of the United States Navy, owes its birth to the work we do at the INL. But this year, the INL got chosen again to now be the National Reactor Innovation Center. That's the new generation of reactor development, to be the place where we're going to get the opportunity to test out, design, and really improve the technology that will be safer. It will be applications that we haven't even imagined. There's people developing reactors today that could almost fit in the back of a car. And it has applications for isolated communities. It has applications for mining. It has applications for our military bases when they're out away from our own country. So we're very excited about all those opportunities. We are also growing in the national security area. For us, the work in cybersecurity is so important. We do a lot of work in control systems, cybersecurity. This is where these buildings will be so critical for us, and try to protect our critical infrastructure from that digital threat. So we're very proud of the work we've done at the INL, but the power of ideas, as you heard, it's possible because of people. We owe a debt of gratitude to our predecessors. They were incredible, brilliant minds that got us this far. But the future workforce for us is just as important. And one of the areas that for us is important, and you hear us talk about all the time, is the importance of inclusion diversity. Because we cannot get the talent we need if we can't get the diversity of minds that are out there for us to tap. And in order to do that, we need to have the ability to be inclusive, to where they could give us their best every single day. And that means the communities are inclusive and the workplace is inclusive. So you're going to hear us talk a lot about this, and I hope many of our colleagues here will join us, because if we really want that technological numbers to continue to grow, there's got to be change. So thank you so much. We're very proud. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. I'm over there asking Matt Rissell if he's about ready to rumble. Brad served as president and chief executive officer of Intuit, a company he helped transform from 2008 to 2018, and continues to serve as the executive board chair of Intuit and as the chairman of Nordstrom's. Entrepreneur Magazine called Brad a shining example of all business leaders and entrepreneurs who want to lead their teams to great impact. Matt, this is the great part about this. When you hear Matt talk about Brad and you see the people who I talk to at Intuit, they all have very strong and fond feeling towards the leadership and all of the things that Brad has brought to Intuit. So all the way from his roots at West Virginia and living in California, let's hear it for Brad Smith.
Jay, thank you for that kind introduction, and I can assure you I am no Steve Young, so bring the standards down. I always wish people would introduce me as Brad as a boy from a small hometown who spent 22 years of his life dreaming of a way out and the rest of his life thinking of a way back home. Because that really is who I am. And it also understates why I'm so privileged to be here this evening with such a vibrant, innovative, fast-growing ecosystem of thought leaders and influencers right here in the Treasure Valley. And it is a real honor to have been invited to speak with you this evening. Comments about the topic that Jay teed up a few moments ago, the topic of disruption, or more specifically, the importance of the ability to disrupt yourself. Time for a little Uncle Brad's story time. It was the summer of 2016. I'm flying across the country on a business trip, reading an article in Fortune magazine written by Jeffrey Colvin entitled How the Best Business Leaders Disrupt Themselves. And it was the opening sentence of the article that caught my attention. Why isn't Intuit dead? Now, you might imagine, as the sitting CEO of Intuit at the time, I felt compelled to read that article. If for no other reason, career preservation. As I got into the article, he went on to say, the answer is easy to state, but it's hard to emulate. It's because Intuit serially disrupts itself. Something only a handful of companies have been able to do, companies like Amazon, Netflix, and Intuit. And Jeff went on to say he studied these companies and he's learned there are three characteristics they all share. First, they view their businesses the way a disruptor would see them, coming out of a dorm room or a garage. Second, they have the courage to drive change even when their business is performing well. And third, they do this time and time again. Now, Jeff was intrigued enough that he reached out and placed a call to me, and he said, would you mind if I came to your location and shadowed your employees, watched how leaders make decisions and how you create this environment? And we were blown away. And I said, of course, come out. It's perfect timing. We're starting our new fiscal year. We have this event called the State of the Company, where we have all 9,000 employees around the globe dial in through video from every country around the world. And we go through our innovation techniques where every single employee, whether you're in finance or legal or HR or engineering, they go out and they observe customers in their natural environments. They look for problems getting in their customers' way. They come back, they develop a hypothesis, they run an experiment, and by the end of the day, they know whether their idea has merit or not. Come and observe that happen. And he did. And then unbeknownst to us, he planned to write a follow-up article. He did that in the fall of 2017. And in that article, Jeffrey Colvin answered his own question. Why is Intuit continually able to disrupt itself? It's because it operates as a 36-year-old startup. And it treats every employee in the company as a leader, an owner, and an entrepreneur. And those employees are challenged to look at the company every day as if it's day one, and to fall in love with the problems that the customers have and not the products that the company has produced. And that was an exciting article to read, but it was the way he finished the article that really jumped out at me. He said, let me just put the facts on the table. Intuit is the Tom Brady of their industry, performing at the peak of their game at an age when everyone else they played with retired. Now, I don't care what your football loyalties are, that's pretty high compliments, and so we were excited and we'll take it. So how do you create an environment where every employee and every leader is willing to serially disrupt themselves? Well, I'll be honest with you, it takes a lot of work. Because on an individual basis, everyone is for change until it happens to them. And on a company basis, there's a reason why the most popular joke in the technology industry is, do you know why the Almighty was able to create heaven and earth in 7 days? Because he didn't have legacy technology and an installed base of customers to migrate. With all due respect, I know you can do it, but the point is clear. Change is inevitable. It can happen to you or it can happen through you, and it's your choice. And what I'd like to do is just share 3 very quick tips that we've learned over 36 years of hard knocks and scar tissue that enable us to try every day to be a 36-year-old startup. And the first begins with leadership. President John F. Kennedy, speechwriter, once said, a leader needs to be better than a good communicator. A leader needs to be a translator of dreams. When you talk about change, everyone says you need a burning platform. And a burning platform is important, but it's not sufficient. People don't want to run from something. They want to run to something. And that's the job of a leader, to be a dealer of hope, to paint the art of the possible and to create a vision of a better tomorrow and to show everyone in the organization the role they play in making that vision a reality. The second tip to being a serial disruptor is to measure success in the only way that matters, through the eyes of your customer. A brand is not what you tell your customers, your company, or your product does. A brand is what your customers tell their friends and family members what your product or your company does. And so what's interesting is 36 years ago, our founder, Scott Cook, observed his wife, Signe, struggle to balance the family finances. He said there has to be a better way. And we have been in love with that problem every day since. We've served it with DOS computing. Yes, we've been around that long. Windows, the web, the cloud, social, mobile, global, and now we're an AI-driven expert platform. And we're still on a vision quest to solve that problem. So only measure success in the way that matters, which is through the eyes of the customer. That takes me to my third and final tip. When driving change and reinventing yourself, be clear about what won't change. Employees joined your company for a reason. They fell in love with something. They saw themselves in something that you do. So while you should challenge everything, you should be clear about what won't change. And for us, it's our mission, it's our values, and it's the fact that we're willing to continually disrupt ourselves every day to be better for our customers. Now I'm going to put a bow around it and say that change is always exciting to talk about, but the deep-seated fear that most of us have is, can we become the version we aspire to be without losing the core of who we are in the process? And I know that is possible, and it's evidenced tonight by 2 Hall of Fame inductees, Idaho National Laboratory, J.R. Simplot, 2 organizations that have reimagined the future: energy, materials, security, agriculture. They have changed the world we live in and yet preserved that thing that has made them special for so many years. But I also know it because of my mommy. She still lives in the same house in a little town in West Virginia that I'll go visit on Friday. 80 years old. I'll knock on the door, she'll open the door, and our greeting will go the same way every time. We'll both get tears in our eyes. She'll give me a kiss. She'll say, honey, it's so good to see you. Your G.I. Joes are in the back bedroom in the toy chest. And I smile at my mom, and in my head I'm saying, I'm 55 years old with gray hair and wrinkles and 2 girls who've graduated college. And I look at her and I say, Mom, I haven't played with those G.I. Joes in years. And she says, I know, but I remember how happy they made you, and I've kept them just in case. When my mom looks in my eyes, she doesn't see this. She sees the same soul she gave birth to so many years ago, and it reminds me, you can become another version of you without losing who you are. Thank you, and I'm now excited to bring up one of your very own, Matt Rissell, a leader who not only has changed the face of what you're doing here, but has changed me as a human being and the way that he and Robin and their family interact, and has changed our company culture. He's a leader, he's a friend, he's a mentor. Matt Rissell.
Brad, it is an honor.
I'm digging the beard, man. You been hunting or what?
Can you guys hear me through this nasty thing? No one even knows who I am. Everyone was like, who is the psycho with the big beard and the bald head?
It's good.
Yeah.
Looks good on you.
Well, Brad, I couldn't be more excited to have you here. I know Brad really well. I was going to say intimately, but I won't say that. But for about 10 years, and I've got to watch you do unbelievable things at Intuit. In fact, So to sit here, have you in Boise, Idaho, and be able to just have a conversation with you is truly one of my dreams.
Thank you, Matt.
To start off,
all right,
I'm going to change up our questions just a little bit here, and I want everyone to understand some of the things that Brad has done, so that the weight of his answers can really hopefully resonate. In 11 years as CEO, there are a lot of small businesses owners here that think, I would love to grow my company $1 million, grow the market cap $1 million. Some of them, their dream is to grow it $10 million. In 11 years, you took the value of Intuit from $10 billion to $50 billion. That is unbelievable. How did you do it?
I didn't. We did. You know, it's interesting. First of all, Matt, that's kind of you to say, and I especially loved and appreciated your opening comments. So thank you for saying all those things. You know, it's interesting for a business leader at any size organization, you have to be really clear about how to measure success, because a lot of things are going to change in your environment. And I'll go back to my opening comments. It's really important to measure success through the eyes of the customer. And so we think about things at Intuit like market cap, stock price, revenue as output metrics, or we call them vanity metrics. And instead, we try to put our energy into the input metrics that are real predictors of customer satisfaction and long-term growth. And you know we call these succession metrics, which is depending upon the size of the company and where you are, you have to be really clear as a leader what questions to ask your teams. So if they have an idea, the power of ideas, and they're about to start, we never ask them a single question about how big could this be. We simply say, have you come up with an idea that solves the customer's problem better than anything else they have? The second is, are they actively using your idea? And the third is, are they already talking about it with friends and family members? We call those love metrics. The only thing we ask about in terms of a business number at that point is, do you ever think anybody will pay us for this? That's it. And then we go through the next stage, and the next stage is cohorts, and that is, do you get those love metrics with every version you produce? Do they go up? Does the customer benefit improve? Does the active use increase? Does the word of mouth expand? And then the second question we ask when they're at the cohort stage is, have you run a test where we just see if they'd be willing to give us a credit card? And then we go to the third, and the third is market success. And that's where you measure those three love metrics against all the alternatives in the market. And you want to make sure yours are better than theirs. And only at that point do we start to actually measure whether someone will pay us. The last is chapter 4, and those are the financial metrics. And that's where you measure customer base. That's where you measure revenue and profit. I say that to say the conversations that we have in our business meetings, as you know, are about how happy are customers. Are they using the product? Are they telling everybody, oh yeah, and the cash register's ringing along the way? That's the important way to try to scale a business from 10 billion to 50 billion.
Did you guys write that down?
I have shorter answers, I promise.
No, that's incredible, and that's why we're here. We're here to learn from you, and so, that's an incredible formula. Let's start a little bit with your background.
Okay.
So you grew up in a small town in West Virginia, like what you had said, and you always believed in the strength of community. You even got a black belt in karate, and so be careful just when you shake his hand.
Yeah.
But how would you say your upbringing helped shape who you are today, including its impact on your success today?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. We are the product of everyone who invested in us. And so for me, I grew up in a little town called Canova, West Virginia, population 3,000 if you count the cows. Wonderful mom and dad, 2 brothers, friends that have lasted a lifetime. But there were actually 3 formative moments that shaped who I am. And the first was at the age of 6, I was sitting and watching television with my brothers, and a news flash scrolled across the screen that said a plane had crashed at the Tri-State Airport. And the only thing my little town of 3,000 had was the Tri-State Airport. So I ran and looked out my bedroom window, and the mountain was glowing, and we found out it was carrying the Marshall University football team. And at the age of 6, I watched a community rise from the ashes. And Eleanor Roosevelt once said, we're all born angels with one wing, and the way we learn to fly is by holding on to one another. And I watched a community come together and rise from those ashes, and I really learned that life's a team sport. The second was 4th grade. I had a crush on a little redheaded girl. She beat me in a spelling bee. She wrote me the note the next day that said, "You can't be my boyfriend because you're stupid." Very insightful young lady who's gone on to become a pediatrician, so she was very smart. But I went home that night. My IQ didn't go up, but my work ethic did. And I've come to believe intelligence is simply applied effort. And then the third moment was in the 9th grade when I had a good friend that I'd gone from kindergarten to 9th grade who was in boxing, Golden Gloves boxing, and he began to practice his skills not on the equipment but on his friends, and he became a bully. I stood up to him and I lost. And I was embarrassed, and I went home to see my dad and mom and brothers and thought they would ask me to sleep in a tent outside. And my dad looked me in the eye with the most sympathy and caring I can remember, and he said, "I've never been more proud of you, because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's a willingness to stand up and face it." And then he enrolled me in martial arts. And I learned at that moment that it's important to face the things that scare you the most, because they probably aren't as bad as you think. And if you do have the capability, stand up for those who need a champion and may feel like they're in a victimized sort of situation. So that's who I am now. I believe life's a team sport. I believe intelligence is applied effort. And I believe at the end of the day that you have to stand up to the things that scare you the most and just lean into the wind. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about leaders who have shaped you. I mean, you hear this all the time. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. But whether your early years at Pepsi or ADP, and during your time at Silicon Valley, you have deliberately surrounded yourself with business executives that you choose to learn from. Can you identify a few of those who you admire most and what you admire about those individuals?
Oh, this is easy. Well, I'll start with you. I've learned a ton from you, and I can tell you, when I first met you, it was your intellectual curiosity, your humility, and your grit. And I think those are the 3 characteristics that anybody should ever want to have if they want to achieve great things. I had learned from my mother and father the strength of character. I learned from Scott Cook, our founder, intellectual curiosity and the willingness to be obsessed with the customer. Bill Campbell, the famous $1 trillion coach, they've just written a book about him. He was the coach to Larry and Sergey and Eric Schmidt, to Steve Jobs, to Jeff Bezos, to myself. And he taught me the power of being a coach and a multiplier. But I would say that the lesson I've learned most is from my wife, a servant leader, someone who made a choice, her choice, to step down from a very successful career and invest everything she had in our daughters. And one time I came home from a business trip 6 months after she made that decision, and she was sitting at the table with tears in her eyes, and I said, "What's wrong? One of the girls hurt." And she said, "No, I just don't know if I'm important anymore." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Because I'm just a mother." And I wrote her a poem. Do you mind if I read it?
Yeah.
I actually carry this all the time. This is not staged, but I do carry it all the time, and I carry it in my wallet. By the way, I don't claim to be a good poet, and I'm not a quarterback in the NFL, so we'll get those 2 things out. This was written in September 1999. The value one contributes is measured carefully. It's quantified and counted to measure your legacy. The fear she harbors deep inside is the judgment of another. After all, her contribution is that she's just a mother. The children, rushed and hurried, will choose heroes to admire. Some strong, some fast, all valiant when the situations are dire. How can she measure up to that? She sits aside and wonders. She has to be more worthy than simply just a mother. The hours can be long and dark when friendships become few. It is a lonely journey when your dreams are not pursued. The passions that she held yesterday, she struggles now to smother. For there's no time for I or me when you are just a mother. Tomorrow's greatest treasures are now upon their way to building higher castles than can be found today. A sister with her sister, like me and all my brothers, were taught life's greatest lessons by simply just a mother. To view such selfless sacrifice will humble all who see that all the things we do each day just will not ever be. As great a contribution as one who lives for others, as one who gives her best each day to simply be a mother. So when the dust is settled and all the tallies are done, the ones who do the counting are the ones who came forth from her sacrifice and her selflessness, and that is why we love her. There are no heroes, great or small, more grand than just a mother.
Wow.
I say that because, like you, I look around and see a lot of people that I would love to be more like. It used to be called plagiarism, now it's called benchmarking. President Trump, I want to be clear about that. But if you think about the true essence of leadership, it's the sacrifice that parents often make for their children so that they can reach higher heights. So that's who I want to be. I want to be a mother.
It's awesome. Well, what's interesting about that is that underneath all of that is the identity. The identity we wrap up in what we do versus who we are, right? And we'll get to that in a second, actually, when we talk a little bit about your transition. But speaking, I want to stay on that vein a little bit, and about leadership and coaching.
Yes.
So I want to hear what your philosophy is on leadership and mentorship. You had 10,000 employees. Mm-hmm. You had something like, I think, 5,000 different partners. Mm-hmm. We came in 2012. I think we had maybe 15 employees at the time, and we were tiny. I mean, we were tiny. And
you weren't. Anytime I stand next to him, I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. That's like twins. Where were you?
It was a great question.
You had me at hello.
Your philosophy on mentorship.
Yeah.
You took a meeting from me. Now, everyone out there's been times you've probably reached out to somebody you really want to learn from. You really want to have this meeting with them. Well, that was Brad Sith to me back in 2012, right? We just launched our partnership. And I got an intro from somebody that you had known from a long time ago, because I worked really hard to get that introduction, right? And you said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, if you were to take all 10,000 employees, if they wanted to meet with you, you wouldn't have time. Mm-hmm. How do you choose? What is your philosophy on mentorship? How do you choose what meetings you take, what meetings you don't take? And then what is your strategy when you invest into them?
Well, let me talk a little bit about leadership. And we spend a lot of time talking about this at Intuit. Your title makes you a manager. People will decide if you're a leader. And you can win minds one to many. You win hearts one to one. And so it's really important to understand that when someone has enough courage to ask you for some time, that's an opportunity for you to cultivate that opportunity and that idea and that individual. And so one of the greatest lessons I learned about leadership was actually when my youngest daughter was going to join a soccer club when she was 9 years old, and we lived in Atlanta. And most kids had started playing at the age of 3, and by the age of 9, they were bending it like Beckham. And so, being helicopter parents that we got her in a special league that were late bloomers, so she wouldn't be embarrassed and lose her confidence, and she would get a participation trophy. And we bought her a whole new uniform, and we bought her a ball, and we wrote her name in magic marker like all the parents did, and we showed up 10 minutes before practice, and the kids were out there kicking the ball, and the parents were talking, and all of a sudden there was crying, and there were people who had grass stains on their new uniform, and the marker was smudged, and the parents had no idea how to deal with this, and this coach showed up, got out of the SUV with a net over one shoulder and equipment over the other, put the net at the end of the field and came over to drop the equipment, and every kid on the field turned to that net and began to kick all the soccer balls into the net as quickly as they could, and it didn't matter whose they were. They all went in, they high-fived each other like they won the World Cup. And that's when I knew what leadership was. Be clear what success is and get the hell off the field. That's it. Because the greatness is already in somebody. And then what you do as a coach is you cultivate that individual ability and you teach them how to have some team capability by teaching them plays. But 90% of success is just saying, this is what success looks like. Go let your freak flag fly. Go do it. And that's you. You'd already built something. I wanted to learn from you. You had built a company from nothing. And that was exciting. So that's why I took the meeting with you.
Wow. Well, thank you for those. Thank you for those kind words. And you did. You invested more time that you allotted during that meeting, and then took meetings even as we moved on. And I can easily say that T-Sheets and what we built here, that is now a part of Intuit, there's a lot of what I instilled inside of that company, I gleaned from you. And a lot of those things about leadership and mentorship, I tried to pass on. And so they carry forward. And now there's 10,000 employees that really have taken those principles. And Sasan, as the CEO, has really continued on and taken that mantle even further.
Well, we have a mantra. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so that's the thing we always have to remember in a leadership role. And the other thing is, Bill Campbell, the famous $1 trillion coach, once said to me, when I look at you, I see two people. the person you are today and the person you're capable of being. And I want to introduce those two people. And that's what a coach does. They don't judge you, they cultivate you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a wonderful testament to what we try to do together with each other.
Awesome. All right, let's switch gears again a little bit.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's go back to disruption. Okay, let's go back to disruption. You said that you talked a little bit about how you disrupted yourself when and how you learned about that when you were flying in the plane.
Yes.
When you became CEO.
Yes.
The iPhone had just came out, or if it hadn't, it was just getting ready to come out.
Right.
And then you had to convince the company to reinvent itself when you were already number one. Mm. How did you convince the company to really want to reinvent itself when you were already number one?
This is the brilliant thing when you're taught in the 4th grade that you're not that smart. You don't have to convince the company has to convince itself. And so what I was able to do was to come in and say, I want to understand from employees, from our board members, from fellow CEOs in the tech industry, from competitors. When you look into it, what's the greatest untapped opportunity you see before us? And at that time, Facebook had just moved out of schools and into .com. The iPhone had just been invented. People were moving to the cloud. There were a lot of things happening, and we were absolutely strong in desktop, but we needed to reimagine ourselves. So I said, what are the biggest untapped opportunities? The second question I asked is, what are the greatest risks that if we don't prepare ourselves could put us out of business? And the third is, what's the single biggest thing I could do to screw it up? And what was amazing was the themes were very consistent. You need to be a cloud company. You need to embrace social platforms, mobile devices, and global expansion. And that became the rally cry, which was we're going to be a connected services company with social, mobile, global. And every employee thought they wrote it because every employee had a voice. And then we said, guess what? I have no idea how to do this. So we adopted 10% time. Google has 20% time. We gave 10% time to all employees to use that time to run experiments to figure out how to do that. Within 90 days, the first version of TurboTax on the mobile phone was launched. 3 years later, 1,800 experiments and $400 million in revenue produced by employees that no one in the CEO staff ever thought up. That's how we did it. The employees did it, not me. I just asked the questions.
Incredible. I'll bet there's a whole lot of companies in Boise, Idaho that start off next week with 10% time in their companies.
It's magic. Just put the soccer net at the end of the field and get off the field.
Well, 2 final questions here as we wrap up. Work-life balance. A lot of times when you see a really successful CEO, and I read about them, there's a lot of things that I try to glean from them. And then when you look at their personal life, they're like, well, I'm going to learn from them as a business leader, not necessarily as a father, let's say, or husband. When I've looked at your life, I've learned from you both as a business leader and as a father and husband.
Thank you.
How do you do the work-life balance?
First of all, I found someone who was much better than me that was willing to grade me on a curve. That's my wife. But secondly, I learned 2 important lessons. One was a lesson from Bill Campbell, who said that there are times of war and there are times of peace. Good generals know what time it is. And so even in school, if you have exams, you have to say to your friends, I can't go to that sorority or fraternity party. I've got to hit the books. And then after that, you can go have some fun. Same thing at work. You've got to kind of know when you've got to sacrifice one way or the other. But then the question is, when do you make sure you don't sacrifice the wrong things? And I have a notion called crystal moments and rubber moments. Rubber moments are those things when your daughter is in 17 dance recitals and you have to miss one because of a board meeting. And she's going to be upset, but I know there's 16 more and she'll forget about it the next time. But then there's that one homecoming or one prom or one birth of a baby or a wedding, and if you drop it, it shatters. Don't ever prioritize work over a crystal moment, and if a company wants you to do it, choose a different company.
Incredible. And lastly, self-reinvention. So you recently transitioned.
You too.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about you.
All right.
From CEO to, global CEO, running a Fortune 500 company, to chairman of the board.
Yeah.
What's next for you, and how have you glided through the transition?
I'll give you a tip. I just posted an article this past Tuesday on LinkedIn called How to Discover Your Why. And the reason why I tell you that is because I'm going to give you a short version of this story. But it has been a process, even when you plan it yourself. ultimately there's a realization you didn't expect. Mark Twain once said the two most important days in your life are the day that you're born and the day you discover why. And I've needed to be on a search for my why again. I've had to look back over my lifetime at things I've sacrificed that I now want to prioritize higher. I've looked back at the points in my life when I was filled with the most passion and purpose. I've thought about the environments where I'm not at my best self and the environments when I am. And the answers have become clear. I want to be a champion for the overlooked and underserved. I want to be a warrior for human dignity and human potential. And I want to level the playing field of opportunity in those communities where everyone else figures their best days are behind them. So I'm leaning into Appalachia and West Virginia with both entrepreneurship and education. And we're going to put a foundation together, my wife and I, called One Wing, Angels with Only One Wing. And we're trying to go into these communities with Silicon Valley techniques to tell these kids, you can indeed be the next Mark Zuckerberg or the next Larry or Sergey or the next Matt Rissell. That's my dream.
I hope one day that we get to say the next president of the United States is
Steve Young.
Everybody, thank you very much, Brad Smith.
Did you guys just feel like you were watching a TV show there? Matt, you're a great interviewer. And Brad, you know what you're talking about. You talk from your heart and your soul, and you obviously act upon that as well. Thank you for coming here and speaking with us tonight. Are you ready for our next Hall of Fame inductee? Might have something to do with this. Behold the potato. Our next Hall of Fame inductee knows a thing or two about the mighty russet. But there was a time when a potato was just a potato. Until something...
A crop, a company, a culture. From the very beginning, J.R. Simplot believed that making something grow meant trying something new, finding a better way, and solving problems together. Today, the J.R. Simplot Company has grown to become one of the largest privately owned agribusiness and food companies in the world. From its new global headquarters in Boise to the farthest outpost of cropland, the spirit of innovation is alive and well in the people of Simplot.
I think about the spirit of innovation as one of our secrets, in the sense that we've been doing innovation for quite a long time, and there are certain things that are already embedded in the organization. One is a positive mindset and having a can-do attitude. The second is really all around practice. Anything else, the more you practice, the better you get. And the third is really about partnerships. You cannot innovate alone. You put those three things together, then you have the essence of the spirit of innovation.
Simplot is pioneering breakthroughs that contribute to feeding the world, like developing potatoes that avoid bruising, stay fresh longer, and resist late-stage blight and disease.
Every potato variety has something that could be done just a little bit better. So with technology, we can do that precisely and bring it into the market.
In the field, Simplot land and livestock managers use mapping and camera technology to track operations more precisely and comply with regulations. It's a solution that came about through a time-honored process: collaboration.
I can think back to countless conversations that I have had in the past 10 years with the corporate office. And being able to work with those guys and have them getting back to me within a matter of days, saying, hey, we found this that can address your problem this way. Why don't we go out to the field and test it and see how it works?
For the people of Simplot, the future is a land of opportunity, a place where new ideas find fertile ground to grow.
It goes way back to Jack Simplot. He was always willing to try something new, and that's part of what innovation is. And he always had a vision for something bigger, and the only way you're going to do that is through innovation.
Helping to feed the world and bring Earth's resources to life through the power of ideas. Congratulations to the employees of Simplot. Welcome to the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame.
It's amazing. The J.R. Simplot Company is one of the most, or if not the most, amazing, innovative company in the history of Idaho. We are honored to be able to induct the J.R. Simplot Company into the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame. It's a tremendous honor to have the history, the legacy that's been grown here with Simplot. Accepting for the J.R. Simplot Company is the the Global Chief Information Officer, Shauna Della. Shauna, would you come to the stage, please?
On behalf of our chairman of the board, Scott Simplot, and my boss, the CEO and president of Simplot, Garrett Lofto, and all the super proud employees that work for this company, many of which are here with me tonight, I'm honored to accept this award. On behalf of this just iconic legend of Idaho with Jack Simplot and the legendary company he left behind. Innovation, as Imbola said in the video, is such a foundational part of the Simplot Company. To foster every year, every single one of us as employees of Simplot, a very large and significant percentage of our annual bonus is based on innovations that we do within the company. We have to come together, describe those innovations, put a scary presentation in front of the family and the compensation committee and all of the leaders where we're judged on our ability to continue innovation throughout our company. You know, I've only been at Simplot for a few years, and because so many people at Simplot, boy, once you start there, you don't leave. We've got a lot of very wise and tenured people that work for this company. But I come with a relatively unique perspective, being in publicly owned businesses the rest of my career and in high tech. You know, it's just heartwarming to see the strong entrepreneurial spirit that J.R. Simplot had back in the day just continue to reverberate through the halls of the Simplot Company. You know, this guy was larger than life, and that kind of get-her-done, innovative, entrepreneurial attitude really is true and strong in the Simplot Company. I can't tell you the commitment that the company and especially the family have to this obsessive passion to contribute to feeding the world. It is absolutely what that family is about and what that company is about. We're lucky in Idaho to be coincidentally in the same state that J.R. Simplot started, because we all are the recipients of that success, that entrepreneurship, and a family that is truly committed to passion for people. And that includes our employees, not only our employees, but all of us as Idaho residents. You know, you can drive through this big state and just come upon, in some small town, a Simplot Stadium or Simplot Elementary School, sports facilities, youth facilities. We are all blessed to be a part of the legacy of this just iconic Idahoan. So I'm honored and humbled to be able to accept this award on behalf of this company. I congratulate INL as co-inductees this year, and a great tribute of thanks to the ITC and the Board of Trustees for this honor. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for our two newest inductees into the Hall of Fame, INL and Simplot. Thank you from all of us. All right, it's time for our Innovation Awards. These are always, it's that time in the program where you go, I can't believe that's happening in my state. At least that's the way I feel. I think you're going to feel out there as well. Our finalists have been selected for the 14th Annual Idaho Innovation Awards, presented by Stoll Reeves, Trailhead, and the Idaho Technology Council. The Idaho Innovation Awards spotlight innovations, innovative professionals, and innovative companies statewide. To present this year's Innovation Awards, will you please welcome to the stage from Stoll Reeves, Brian Larson and Nick.
We were waiting for the t-shirts too. But Matt, you didn't bring any. So I had to run back to my office. I don't know if anybody saw. Run back to my office, dig through a couple drawers. Right there. And you know,
it's that time in the program where you go, I can't believe that's happening in my state. At least that's the way I feel. I think you're going to feel out there as well. Our finalists have been selected for the 14th Annual Idaho Innovation Awards, presented by Stoll Reeves, Trailhead, and the Idaho Technology Council. The Idaho Innovation Awards spotlight innovations, innovative professionals, and innovative companies statewide. To present this year's Innovation Awards, will you please welcome to the stage from Stoll Reeves, Brian Larson and Nick Taylor.
Thank you, Carolyn, very much.
Thank you very much. Jay, I know you're going to be jealous, but when we heard Matt was going to be up on stage, we were waiting for the t-shirts too. But Matt, you didn't bring any. So I had to run back to my office. I don't know if anybody saw. Run back to my office, dig through a couple drawers. Right there. And you know, Nick, it's a medium. It'll fit you perfect.
Fits me perfectly. You gotta wear it nice and tight, right, Matt? Hey, so wonderful to see so many people here at this meeting of the candidates for Boise City Mayor and City Council. Thank you very much. I'd ask you all to stand and be recognized, but this is only a 5-hour event, so.
Yeah. That's right, and if you're looking for the meeting of the Meridian candidates, they're in the other ballroom. They've filled that up quite full too.
Now, Brian, we've been friends for a long time, no?
Yeah.
How come you've never written me a poem?
Oh, I've written you poems. I just didn't dare read them to you.
In all seriousness, we are thrilled to be here tonight to celebrate the ITC inductees, as well as the Idaho Innovation Awards finalists and winners. And I really appreciate it that you all came out despite the last-minute change in venue. Apparently, Doral was already booked. So please pardon us for trying, but totally free and zero cost near the Miami airport was too good of a deal to pass up.
Ooh, that's one Trump joke I allowed him to have, so thank you for indulging him. Now, over the last 14 years of the program, we have learned about remarkable innovations and accomplishments from all over our great state of Idaho.
And this year's honorees are no exception. They represent exciting new products, technologies, and leadership. But before we announce this year's winners, we would like to thank the organizations that have helped Stoll Reeves make the Idaho Innovation Awards possible.
First, we'd like to recognize our presenting partners, Trailhead and the Idaho Technology Council.
We'd also like to thank Deloitte for serving as our accounting partner once again. They oversee the tallying of the votes and Brian's lunch write-offs.
I kept them all under $25, I promise. Finally, we'd like to thank the members of our selection committee, about 30 professionals and industry experts, plus Jay Larson, dedicated their time to evaluate the nominees and vote on the finalists and winners in each category. Let's give this entire group a round of applause.
Now, wait, Brian, before we get to the finalists and the winners, there's one very important thing we want us to do.
Well, that's right. We'd like to remind everyone what happened last year when NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young had to say about us.
Do we have tape?
Lawyers from Stoll Reeves, that was really funny.
No, it's funny. Lawyers, funny. That's funny.
I have always liked that guy, even for a BYU grad.
Whoa, I can't believe you said that. You know, after that happened, I was so excited. I don't think I've told you this before, Brian, but I texted my brother and I said, "You won't believe it, Steve Young, he said I was funny." And my brother texted back and he goes, "It's not like he's Joe Montana."
Ouch. Now that that's fresh in your minds, how funny we are, let's get to the awards. 3 finalists in each category were named last month, and they are all listed in your program.
That's right, and we will go category by category and tell you a little bit about each finalist before announcing the winner. This year, we would like the company representatives from the winner to come, when we announce them, to come up onto the stage to receive your trophy and make an acceptance speech. Then at the conclusion of the program, we'll all meet over here with the finalists, all the finalists and winners, to take group photos. Thank you very much.
Our first category tonight is Commercialized Innovation of the Year. In this category, we recognize innovations from established companies that are on the market and generating revenue.
The first finalist is Advanced Electrolyte Model, known as AEM, by Idaho National Laboratory. AEM is a computer simulation program. It's designed to give fast information of complex electrolyte formulations and how they can influence the performance of batteries. AEM is helping optimize battery electrolyte chemistries and in turn driving down the cost of energy storage. By decreasing the cost of batteries, it will accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles and the deployment of grid-scale battery systems. And as you can see from the video, they're also the creators of Jurassic Park.
Our second finalist is EVOS by Eco Safety Group. Over the last few years, many electric and hybrid vehicles have quietly entered our roads and neighborhoods. Without a traditional combustion engine, some electric vehicles are so quiet they're difficult to recognize until it may be too late. For example, the other day in the Whole Foods parking lot, I was walking out after buying my box of plastic spoons and disposable straws when a Prius came out of nowhere and almost ran me over. Well, Echo has a solution for that. EVOS stands for Electric Vehicle Alert System. It is a device that mounts to the vehicle and emits an audible warning for perimeter safety. The tone can be uniquely designed to match brand identity. They're working on getting this part onto the assembly line of Tesla and other electric vehicle manufacturers. EVOS by Eco Safety Group.
The third finalist in this category is Preview Side Defender 2 by Preco Electronics. Commercial trucks and buses pose an incredible threat to bicyclists, pedestrians, motorcyclists, and other smaller vehicles. This radar-based side collision warning system alerts drivers when there's a bicyclist or other vulnerable road user to the side of the truck that could be at risk if the truck were to make a turn. The system filters out stationary objects, such as parked cars, trees, and Jay Larson's sense of humor.
Jay, it's going to go on all night. And the Commercialized Innovation of the Year winner is Preview Side Defender 2 by Preco Electronics.
Thank you. I don't have a script here to pick fun at Jay, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I have the unique opportunity to lead one of these 70-year-old startup companies in Boise, and it's amazing to me how many of those there are, but our company started back in 1947. And this product that won this award this year, this is the second time we won this award. We didn't win it last year, but the year before we did a similar product. This product was one of those disruptive products because last fall, the German government wrote a spec for a product that was going to protect vulnerable road users, mostly people on bicycles. And we took this product that we'd already developed and we disrupted it so that it would absolutely positively meet that spec. And we went up against some incredibly large competition and we've won. Every time we've gone up against the competition, we've added all sorts of new customers to our product list, customers that everybody knows like Daimler and Scania. And so we're very proud of the engineering work that was done here, very proud of the marketing work that was done here, and every single one of these products is tested right here in Boise, Idaho. So thank you very much. We appreciate the award.
Our next category is Consumer Product of the Year. This category is designed to recognize innovations in consumer products that are meeting a market need and represent a fundamental change in their industry.
The first finalist is Energy Apex Portable Solar Generator by Energy. The Apex is the most compact, lightest weight, and easy to use plug-and-play source of renewable portable power in the world. And unlike windmills, it doesn't cause cancer.
I can't believe you said that.
The Apex charges twice as fast and lasts up to 4 times longer than any comparable product on the market. It can power dozens of devices and appliances wherever you need it. Energy Apex Portable Solar Generator. And Nick, you know, I'll need a couple of these for our road trip to Utah for Thanksgiving.
But that's only like a 5-hour drive, right?
Yeah, you haven't seen my daughters use their phone yet.
Fair enough. The second finalist is the Play Gym by Love Every. This is not your average baby toy. The Play Gym is an activity playmat that is the first of its kind, designed for all learning stages of a baby to stimulate healthy brain development. It even converts into a cozy fort with the play space cover that comes with it. The Play Gym includes everything from batting to teething to learning to focus on activities that are age appropriate for the entire first year of a baby's life.
Hey Nick, does this product want you to have another kid?
No, I just ordered one to play with myself.
Well, speaking of toys that are appropriate for grown-ups, the third finalist is Winchline Shackle Mounts by Factor 55 LLC. Factor 55 is an engineering and manufacturing company focused on vehicle recovery safety. This is an area that has seen little to no technology improvement for over 75 years. They have created a disruptive closed system winching technology that eliminates the dangers of the conventional rigging hook.
And this year's winner is the Play Gym by Love Every. Accepting the award is Jake Fouts, Director of Project Engineering. Congratulations.
So it's an incredible honor to receive this award on behalf of Jessica Rolfe, our co-founder and CEO. She's a true visionary. The Play Gym was such an incredible product for us. It was very challenging, and it was our first product to market, so it's very important for Love Every. It was really the introduction of the brand into the marketplace. And there's absolutely no way that we could have done it without the tremendous support that we received from the startup community and all the local businesses and all the investors, the local investors that took a big risk on the company. We owe a huge thanks to Trailhead and Trailhead North for being so accommodating. Yeah, thank you. They were so accommodating with our office space as we grew so rapidly, from 2 to more than 20 employees in the last couple of years. And it was so amazing to be working in a co-working space with other entrepreneurs and business professionals who on a daily basis were giving us insights to our products and also to the business decisions that we were making. We owe a big thanks to Tech Help and the New Product Development Lab for providing us with some of the best student engineering design resources and helping us come up with creative solutions to prototyping our products and getting concepts in front of parents and children for testing. And I just want to, on a personal note, I just want to say how inspiring it is to be part of this event and to be considered for this award alongside such amazing companies and creative individuals. And we really look forward to giving back to this community as Love Every continues to grow. Thank you all so much.
Our next category is Early Stage Innovation of the Year. This category recognizes innovations that are less than 5 years old, that are not yet commercialized or just emerging from R&D stages.
The first finalist is Jewel Case by Jewel Case Inc. Jewel Case is a stackable battery system that replaces the need for gas generators. Consumers increasingly rely on access to power, and power reliability is a growing concern for consumers, businesses, and governments. Portable power for all applications, Jewel Case provides reliable grid quality power and sizes the power perfectly to the power need. I'm so glad they went with the name Jewel Case too. Many people don't know this, but they were initially going to go with Millennial Case, but then they were concerned people would think it only worked half the time.
Whoa. You know, you can only get away saying that because you're a millennial.
I'm only a millennial between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m.
The second finalist is Tovuti LMS by Tovuti. Tovuti Learning Management System is transforming the way organizations train and educate their people. With its cloud-based online training software, Tovuti is empowering organizations to train faster, better, and at scale, and in the process is disrupting the multi-billion-dollar ed tech space. The end-to-end solution gives users everything they need to build awesome, interactive e-learning programs, whether they are training their team, their partners, or their customers. Tovuti LMS by Tovuti.
Do you think Tovuti could train the lawyers that stole Reeves?
Maybe. Although lawyers never listen or do anything anybody else tells them.
True. So the third finalist is Wi-Fi by Idaho National Laboratory. My two favorite things about INL are the lab coats and the acronyms. In this case, Wi-Fi stands for, get this, Wireless Radio Frequency Signal Identification and Protocol Reverse Engineering, or Wi-Fi, duh. Many wireless systems are poorly secured and unmonitored, allowing hackers to get data from them or even gain control without detection. This is a breakthrough technology that provides real-time wireless communication security by continuously monitoring the wireless spectrum, tracing system communication activities, and reporting the presence of authorized and unauthorized users. Wi-Fi by Idaho National Laboratory.
And the winner is Jewel Case. Accepting the trophy are Alex Livingston, President and Co-founder, and James Wagner, CEO and Co-founder.
I wanted our walk-up song to be Avril Lavigne, but is that still millennial, or would we have missed that? I think we're too old for it. We're really excited for this. This is fantastic to be recognized here for the Idaho Innovation Awards. We're hoping to be one of those startup companies that's still operating into 36 years. What we think we've done with Jewel Case is created an innovative product to revolutionize fuel for the next 100 years. So we've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone here. The Boise community has just been amazing, right? So being here, seeing all of my friends out in the crowd, it's been great just to be here, and the support that we've gotten from this community, for the investors, our fantastic team that's here in Boise. So thank you so much over there. And thank you for everyone that supported us, Brian and several other members over there as well. So thank you so much.
It absolutely takes everyone here in this room to help the community grow and evolve. All of the people that supported us for the last more than a decade since we've had a concept of revolutionizing energy. So to everyone that's been around for this journey and everyone that will continue to participate in this journey, thank you so much.
Thank you. I think they stole our shtick. And now on to the Innovative Company of the Year category. This category is about more than just a product. It recognizes companies that use innovative solutions to overcome business obstacles.
Our first finalist is Cradlepoint. Every day we are relying on mobile phones and cellular networks for workplace communications, staying connected to the people we care about, entertainment, and navigating our day's schedule. Thanks to Cradlepoint, you could, in theory, present at the Idaho Innovation Awards while streaming the World Series, just in theory. Boise-based Cradlepoint designs and delivers wireless network solutions that provide business and government customers of all sizes around the world with secure and reliable access to the same fast and powerful cellular networks. Cradlepoint's innovative employees create innovative solutions for their customers.
The second finalist is the Idaho Transportation Department. ITD is a public service state agency responsible for the maintenance of more than 12,000 lane miles and 1,800 bridges. Spurred by a vision to operate more like a business and motivated by an annual funding shortfall in the hundreds of millions, I'll say this about our legislature, they definitely know how to incentivize innovation. The department launched the Innovate ITD initiative to document and share employee solutions to everyday problems. Over the past 5 years since its inception, they have implemented more than 1,000 innovations and generated nearly $10 million in taxpayer savings. The Idaho Transportation Department, inventing new ways to drive to work each day.
The third finalist is Count. Count has earned recognition as the market leader in digital fraud prevention. Their AI emulates an experienced fraud analyst, taking into account both historical fraud patterns as well as anomalies, and maintains their 250 millisecond response rate. This patent technology prevents digital payment fraud, new account fraud, and account takeovers. They have earned recognition as the market leader in digital fraud prevention and are used by 6,500 brands globally. Count is a global leader in this space, and CEO Brad Wiskershin's leadership and mentorship to his employees set the bar as one of the best technology companies to work for.
Brian, haven't you used Count before?
Well, if you must mention it, the other day I was reviewing my wife's credit card statement, and I thought she'd been hacked, so I called Count, and they assured me she had not.
I'm telling Cammie you actually said that. So, and the winner of this year's Innovative Company of the Year category is Count. Accepting the trophy is CFO Scott Klausner.
Brad's not able to be here tonight. If he was, he would tell me to tell you all that we're grateful for this award, and we're here to represent a bunch of folks that work really hard building innovative products that are powerful and help us stop bad guys who are trying to steal from us all. And they've done some really amazing things, and we're really proud of what they've done, and we're grateful for this. So thank you.
Our final category tonight is Innovator of the Year. This category recognizes professionals who demonstrate innovation through their leadership and accomplishments.
The first finalist for Innovator of the Year is Dr. Henry Chu. Dr. Chu is a Directorate Fellow and the Chief Technology Officer of Defense Systems for the National and Homeland Security Directorate at Idaho National Laboratory. His contributions in developing armor systems for the U.S. Army's M1 Abrams main battle tank, most famous for its appearance at President Trump's military parade.
Well, Nick, that's 2 Trump jokes. You make a third and you're going to have to go to California.
All right, I don't want to leave. Dr. Chu's innovations have been instrumental in making the M1 Abrams the most formidable ground-based weapon system on Earth, second to Matt Rissel's biceps. His extensive knowledge in the field of ballistics has guided INL research necessary to developing next-generation armor materials. Dr. Chu excels at identifying future challenges before they even occur and developing unique, novel solutions that are invaluable to the defense community. Dr. Chu from Idaho National Laboratory.
The next innovator is Doug Hackler, President and CEO of American Semiconductor. Doug co-founded the company in 2001 and is a co-inventor of semiconductor on polymer, or SOP technology. Yeah, I'm down with SOP. Yeah, you know me.
You are definitely not a millennial.
Thankfully. Doug led American Semiconductor in his technological breakthrough that garnered industry acclaim. They completed a joint development agreement with HD Microsystems in 2019. Through the JDA, Doug has put the world's first SOP production and assembly line in Boise. Doug plans to expand operations to meet market needs, bringing high-tech jobs to the Treasure Valley. Doug is a hands-on leader who is known for his commitment and advocacy to the flexible electronics industry. Doug Hackler.
The third finalist is Dr. Peter Kong, Chief Technology Officer at Cogent Energy Systems, Inc. Dr. Kong has more than 40 years of experience in thermal plasma technology research and development, as well as extensive experience in high-temperature processing of materials. He retired from INL after more than 22 years of service. Dr. Kong was a distinguished staff scientist with the laboratory and was the technical lead for the plasma processing group. As the CTO of Cogent, Dr. Kong has focused on the world's need to recycle environmental carbon by creating a new means of vaporizing waste and using the gaseous products produced to provide electricity and other forms of energy. Also, and this is super confidential, but Dr. Kong is the co-inventor of the proton pack from Ghostbusters. Dr. Kong from Cogent Energy Systems, Inc.
And the winner is Doug Hackler, President and CEO of American Semiconductor. Doug, come on up.
Well, I have to tell you, this is certainly the most awesome thing that's happened to me today. When we think about innovation, for me personally, it's what happens when talent meets up with inspiration. And for talent, I have the privilege of working with a very talented team of professionals at American Semiconductor, and it's innovation's a team activity. The other thing is inspiration. And we're blessed to live here in Idaho with legends in inspiration. People like Harry Morrison, Morris Knudsen, J.R. Simplot, Ward Parkinson, Joe Parkinson. People that created global industries, people that created global organizations built on innovation, and companies that were able to bring innovative, tangible products that changed the world. So it's the inspiration that they gave to us, along with the talent of our team, that gives us the confidence that we have the opportunity to build a future here in Idaho in manufacturing. Thank you very much.
Please join us in a final round of applause for all of the finalists and winners of the 2019 Idaho Innovation Awards. And please remember, we would like all finalists and winners to come over after the program for group photos. Thank you very much.
Thank you again for putting up with us. We hope we'll make it back next year. And most importantly, thank you.